So hey y'all, I'm back with another video. So tonight's video is yet again another Chioma Chats video podcast edition. So by the title, we're going to be talking about Chrisean and Blueface and their need to please shut the hell up for Pete's sake. Everything about this couple just irritates me, and I think it's for obvious reasons. But I think as of recent, the narrative that I've been seeing in regards to them has really been grinding my gears because there's a lot of excusing the behavior, pointing the blame, lack of accountability, and I can no longer only blame Chrisean and Blueface. By the way, I'm not going to have any real nice approach to either of these people, so if you're looking for me to support Chrisean as a woman, this isn't the video for you. This is a rant. So I really put the blame on the blogs as well and the people who are invested or the fans of these individuals, because as much as I do say blogs are messy and they definitely have influence, it's really the people who consume them and the narratives people push because of the blogs. Like, social media users and blogs go together like peanut butter and jelly, because if you have a social media, even if you're using it for good reason, it's not difficult for you to be swindled into being exposed to more information, drama, controversy, scandal, and then subconsciously having your opinions on it even if you truly don't care. Like, be for real, half of the headlines that I see on social media through the blogs every day are things I really don't care about, but I make commentary on it outside of it being a job, just through my subconscious and having that instinct to be an opinionated person. And everyone has opinions, so you may see a headline and give your opinion inside your brain and never really voice it or write it down because it's kind of just a human thing to do. So with this Blueface and Chrisean story, I just kind of feel like there's something deeper here. There's no way that they just keep trending. There's no way that the antics become more filled with debauchery. Every other day, there's no way that someone like Blueface has been able to reestablish his career through this, and someone like Chrisean has been able to beat out thousands of other girls who are looking for fame and money. If there's not some other entity, then essentially all of them are being gaslit by the blogs and those who consume the blogs. Or maybe there is a mixture of both of these ideas, because either I'm living in a twilight zone or this world is way more immoral than I ever believed it to be. We have a pregnant woman who casually talks about abortions, who has been seen fighting, drinking, smoking in the midst of carrying a child, but we have the general public who still somehow makes her famous and gives her excuses. And then we have a man who could have just really been a rapper who, yes, he gets clowned, but he was, I guess, viral enough to be famous. Yet his career has been reestablished to being unlikable, toxic, and the literal embodiment of an ain't-ish naker. But it sells, but it trends, but it remains. Am I the only one with morals? I think this saga should have been ended a long time ago, and I do predict that eventually it will diminish in relevance. But I really wanted to touch more on the fact on the types of comments that I see giving fuel to this fire by other young women, and it actually pisses me off. I would say it sickens me. I would say it saddens me. No, it actually pisses me off because I realize that this generation and this society is numb and desensitized to BS. Simply said. So I've broken this video down into one overall main talking point. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. So my one and overall main talking point is we have been desensitized to BS. Have y'all noticed that most of the stuff that trends in urban pop culture makes Black people and essentially people of color who resonate with urban environments look like an alien species? I mean, there's nuttiness all over the world, especially here in America, but what gets promoted that represents what's popular in Black pop culture is always the most low down, low vibrational, poor excuse for a person type of material. And the reason why it's pissing me off is because I didn't know people were actually so dumb that they could make an excuse for Chrisean Rock. I don't care what her background is. I don't care what she's been through. I don't care that she resonates with a lot of people who have similar upbringings. I empathize with it, but I don't care about it in a way to make an excuse for a grown woman time and time again. I hate the coddling because people really pick and choose who gets it. Nobody would ever coddle me or give me excuses if I acted like her. Even if y'all didn't have a prerequisite presumption of who I am and how I am based off of what I look like, how I talk, and maybe my ethnic background, nobody would ever give me an excuse like this. At first it was like, okay, the girl is dealing with a man who is clearly toxic, but it's not that she is the sole victim here. And then when it comes to Blueface, it's like, clearly he's someone whose upbringing clearly makes him be the man that he is, but he's also not the sole victim here either. Why is it that we encourage Chrisean Rock to leave Blueface and say that she was doing better or getting better ever since she started waking up and realizing that she doesn't need him? But you'll see that she doubles back on a lot of those positive strives, and her mentality really isn't any different than it was prior to her getting pregnant, and that doesn't even get called out. I can't even begin to sit here and say all of the different reasons and situations that have occurred in this relationship. He's been cheating on her, she's been loyal, but stupidly loyal. She beats on him, she breaks his property, she fights him and his family, he does the same stuff, he deals with other women, he makes it publicly known that he is not a one-woman man. She knows this, she accepts it, but she also cries about it, but none of them leave. None of them have truly ever left each other alone. So we're not dealing with sane individuals, we're not dealing with individuals who recognize that although there may be tons of love involved between the two, it's unhealthy for for both of them. We're dealing with people who I'm not even sure if they actually have common sense. And I'm not saying that to be funny or offensive. I'm saying that because I'm concerned about their mindsets and how it rubs off on the general public. I would have never thought that something like a Blueface and Chrisean can be catapulted into clout and be deemed as entertainment for this long. In the beginning, maybe I was even invested in it, but the fact that they were able to get a show, remain on the internet, continuously cause controversy, and really establish themselves as public figures, it really does show me that we live in a world that doesn't want Black people, let alone urban environments, to really succeed. Because yes, there's ghetto and toxic nonsense occurring every day, so it's not unrealistic per se, but there's no balance of the type of virality that happens. Sometimes people comment and say, why am I not speaking on more positive topics? And this is my job, so I'm gonna speak on what is trendy and as well as what is viral. But I do try to approach it in a way that isn't just laughing and kikiing with the BS. I try to talk about it in a way that makes people realize what they're viewing, weighing all pros and cons, being real about the situation, but also being entertaining. At least I try. And it's not that I can't talk about what these Black women are doing here and there, but it's the fact that if I really did, people aren't programmed to care anymore. People are programmed and wired to be invested in toxicity. And at first I was like, okay, I know how to remove myself from all of this. I can watch baddies and still be an intellectual. I can watch Love and Hip Hop and still be a college student who graduated. I can see all the celebrities going back and forth on Twitter, but still maintain my personal standards and morals. But I am afraid for everyone else because in the comment section of everything dealing with Blueface and Chrisean are people excusing this and not really allowing these people to take accountability for their actions. It almost seems kind of one-sided. Like, I get as women, we're gonna be a little bit more pro-women, but both of these individuals do the same thing. So I don't get why people completely rag on Blueface as if Chrisean isn't equally yoked in the nonsense. So as of recent, Chrisean Rock is pregnant, like I said. Blueface has been distancing himself from her and this baby. He's now been pretty much shacking up with his first baby mother. And I find it funny that people are clowning the first baby mother and coming for her looks as if Chrisean Rock wasn't the other woman who infiltrated their relationship in the first place. Now, let's be real. This is all Blueface's fault. You were in a relationship with Jaden Alexis and then you decided to cheat on her. However, you've been with the girl for years since high school and y'all share children together. And another girl comes in who he saw could elevate him and also possibly elevate her to her benefit, and he allowed Chrisean to disrespect the mother of his children and longtime girlfriend. He allowed her to feel as though she had the upper hand. He allowed her to pretty much take what he was building with Jaden Alexis and reinvent it in a modern way that brought him more attention and money. And now that Chrisean Rock is actually bubbling up and has really established herself in entertainment, even if it is for a bad reason, all of a sudden he wants parts, but he also doesn't want parts. He wants parts because he's a self-proclaimed pimp who probably feels that he needs to collect off of anything that she does, as I feel that he is jealous of her success as well as envious of how many chances she gets by the public after each controversial thing that she does. But then he doesn't want parts because clearly he doesn't want to have permanent ties to Chrisean Rock and deal with this type of behavior and sick obsession that she has for him for the rest of his life. I mean, Chrisean Rock has Blueface tattooed on her so many times she literally looks like a middle school yearbook. But Blueface has already done the dumbest thing he could do, which is give Chrisean Rock a reason to have leverage over him as well as make their connection permanent. And I feel like he's perping when he claims that he doesn't want the child, he doesn't want anything to do with her. I feel like he's capped because if you really felt that way, there's no reason that she would be having your baby after her third abortion. She's even lucky that she can still get pregnant after literally getting that many abortions. I'm really scared of women who use abortions as birth control because that's just not what it is. Abortion is way too serious and painful for people to just play with it like that. So I'm not a fan of how Chrisean Rock has spoken about it because you're essentially making people think that it's an easy process. I don't think a lot of women consider the mental and physical aspect of an abortion. So the fact that she's done 3, I do get why she doesn't want to do another one, but it's like you're also setting yourself up to be in a lifetime full of distress. Like, she literally could be so much more peaceful walking away from this, but she doesn't because she doesn't have any self-esteem. She doesn't have any real morals or standards. She really isn't a good person. And yes, she's probably trying, but let's talk about what's right in front of us. Of course, we hope that she gets better, but what's right in front of us is a broken woman who, instead of being plastered all over the internet by the blogs and the people around her, she needs to take a break from that so she can recuperate and find healthier ways to express herself. And in regards to Blueface, I refuse to let this woman sit here and make it seem like he's the only issue here, because seeing how his mom reacts to a lot of stuff that he does and just his entire business, I can clearly tell that he was also raised in a way where he really didn't have that much hope from himself mentally. I would say that they are a match made in heaven, but they're really not, because 2 wrongs don't make a right. 2 broken people aren't going to make a whole. They're going to make more broken pieces, to be honest. And now that there's children involved, I find it very sad that there's women who still encourage Chrisean in a way that doesn't hold her accountable. Let me tell you one thing. You will never learn any lesson in life, and you will never get better in life, and you will never ascend to higher levels without having accountability about your life. It doesn't work that way to just evade accountability and still get better. You will remain in the same ignorant mindset if you don't take accountability for unfavorable things that you have done. And I had to learn that the hard way. When it comes to Blueface and his first baby mother, Jaden Alexis, I also think they are counter-trolling the internet. I think Chrisean is also doing the same thing because she makes these tweets as if she understands her place and how she plans to be better for her child, but does she act on it? Absolutely not. So it's just a whole bunch of words that really gaslight the internet to keep her relevant because they know that this combination of exploiting themselves and acting a fool is their livelihood. If they really fell off today, not only would they lose their relevance, but their income and their reputation would also go in the dustbin with it. Jaden Alexis hanging out with Blueface probably isn't even that shocking because he's probably been doing this all this time. He just switched his focus to her. He was going on live and recording everything Chrisean does, and now he's doing it to Jaden Alexis. And both of these girls feed off of his attention, which I try to tell people all the time. When it comes to women want attention more than they want money sometimes. I don't care what nobody says. Women like them want attention more than they want money because women know that we can resort to a lot of things to get some money, and the chances of us being able to acquire money in certain ways are higher than they are for men. Maybe not the amount, but the ability. So attention is one of those things that we prioritize because internally it does do something to women. I find it weird that people like me get called a pick-me, but I think the real pick-me's are people like Chrisean Rock and Jaden Alexis because they're the type of women who will do anything to satisfy a man for his attention and his perks. They don't stand alone, they don't have a mind of their own, and they don't have self-respect and self-assurance to really be their own person. They're truly the pick-me's who want to do whatever it takes to get the attention from the man who they like. That's the real pick-me's. Nonetheless, I'm really tired of this saga. It's really one of my most requested topics, and these are really my feelings. You can call me insensitive, but I feel like I gave them enough empathy in the beginning when I really did encourage the situation to literally be dead. But the fact that it's been well over a year, maybe even 2 years at this point, and they're still going at this, I don't need to have any more sympathy or empathy. These are grown women making their own choices. And yes, they are young women, and I predict that they'll look back someday and realize that they wasted a lot of their youth and time on somebody who doesn't even serve them. But I don't know what mental spell this man keeps them under or if his package is really that good, but there's no accountability in this situation for anybody to feel bad for anybody. Pregnancy is so preventable. The fact that she got pregnant 3 times and is now pregnant for the 4th time and deciding to keep it, that's what you wanted to do. If you really didn't want that, it wouldn't happen. There are thousands of women every day who prevent themselves from getting pregnant by F-boys, and there's thousands of women who don't. It's a choice at the end of the day. And I don't want to hear none of that, as a woman, you should be like this, or as a woman, you should approach it differently. No, as a woman, I want the best for the women involved. But if the women involved don't want the best for themselves, then as a woman, I'm going to detach from offering my support and advice and empathy because that's clearly not what they want from me, let alone the general public. Do you really think any of these women want the internet to encourage them to do better? No, they've made their choices. We're just spectators of their choices. My overall prediction is that this is similar to YouTube couple channels from back in the day. They're not going to last that long. They will last a while, but not that long. Everybody thought Chris and Queen was the best thing since sliced bread. I was even invested into their relationship. I really liked them when they first came out. Just for them to be called out for scamming, cheating, fake pranks, being fraudulent, the whole 9 yards. To me, this is the same thing. A relationship that got really popular and really blew up, and it's going to have a limit. It's going to have a climax. I believe that once this baby is born, once that kid comes, who wants to bet that within maybe 6 months after the kid is born, the relevance is really going to start to dwindle because either she's going to change and people won't be invested into the nonsense anymore, or something is going to happen where people can't continuously give this an excuse and give this energy. I really do hate that we're witnessing this toxic love triangle, and it's really affecting not only the people involved, but also the people that are consuming it. It's triggering to me to see a man disrespect a woman who is bearing his child. That really triggers me. So I hate that I'm forced to view this, and I hate that there's other people who literally see no issue, even if they do make excuses for it. Stop coddling Chrisean Rock. She continues to do what she does because people coddle her. That light skin privilege, that pretty privilege is really driving her forward because her actions are not even deemed feminine or likable or what men claim that they want, and somehow she is still popular. So that goes to show that all of the relevance at this point has left the stage of naturally putting themselves out there and being genuinely enticing to people, whereas now it's just convoluted and a controlled push by those who are involved and the people who are enablers like the blogs and the fans. I pray that this situation ends, and for both of them, including anybody who reports on this, to please shut the hell up. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please let me know your commentary on my commentary down below. What do you think? What do you know? Let me know. If you haven't already, go stream my song Ceremony. Is out on all platforms, and the music video is out on my YouTube channel. The link is down below. And lastly, don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye, y'all. We got pepperonis. I had to speak on the beat and give testimony. So we drink to my success. Now every day is a ceremony. Yeah.